You ever pull up a whole row of garlic in July, and every single bulb is the size of a marble? I did that my second year growing it. 40 cloves in the ground, and what I dug up wouldn't have filled a coffee cup. I stood there in my own garden feeling like a fool, holding a fistful of nothing, wondering how something so simple went so wrong. Here's the thing nobody tells you. That garlic didn't fail because you don't have a green thumb. It failed because a few small pieces of knowledge got skipped somewhere along the way, knowledge that used to just pass from one gardener to the next without anybody thinking twice about it. That mistake cost me more than a summer. It cost me a whole year of garlic I could have been eating, giving away, cooking into every meal from October clear through spring. Garlic is a once-a-year crop. You don't get a do-over in 6 weeks like you do with lettuce. Get it wrong, and you're waiting a full 12 months to try again. And it's not just the eating. Good garlic keeps. A strong harvest means braided bulbs hanging in the pantry, seed saved back for next fall, a little extra to trade with a neighbor. Get a weak crop, and you've got nothing to show for a whole season of work but a few sad bulbs and a bare spot where a harvest should have been. This isn't bad luck, and it isn't because you did something dumb. It's knowledge that got lost. Most folks today buy garlic from a grocery store, plant it without a second thought, and never learn the handful of small checks that used to be common sense on every farm. Nobody wrote it down because nobody thought they'd need to. Then the folks who knew it passed on, and the knowledge went with them. My name's Earl Whitfield. I grew up on a hillside farm in the Ozarks, and my granddad grew garlic on that same patch of ground for over 40 years. He didn't read about it in a book. He learned it from his own father, standing right there in the dirt, the same way I learned it from him. I've been growing garlic on that land my whole adult life, and I've made just about every mistake there is to make, so you don't have to. There are 7 things my granddad always checked before a single clove went into the ground. Skip any one of them, and you're rolling the dice on your whole harvest. I'm going to walk you through every one, plain and simple, so you know exactly what to look for. And near the end, I'll mention a short planting checklist I put together if you want something to carry out to the garden with you. Just the once, and then we'll get right back to the garlic. The first thing my granddad checked was the clove itself, before it ever touched the soil. Not every clove in a bulb is worth planting. Pick the biggest, firmest cloves you've got and set the small, skinny ones aside for the kitchen. Here's why that matters. A big clove already has more stored energy packed inside it, kind of like a battery that's already got a good charge. That stored energy is what feeds the plant in its first few weeks, before the roots are big enough to pull much from the soil on their own. Plant a small, weak clove, and you're asking it to grow a full bulb off almost nothing. Do this. Sort your cloves by size before planting, and only use the top half. Skip this. Never plant the smallest, thinnest cloves and expect a full-size bulb back. The second thing was soil temperature, not the calendar. A lot of folks plant garlic on a set date every year because that's what the seed packet says, or what a neighbor told them once. My granddad never trusted a date on paper. He'd stick his hand a few inches into the dirt, and if it still felt warm, like a sun-baked porch step, he'd wait. Garlic wants cool soil, somewhere around 50 degrees, before it goes in the ground. Plant too early into warm soil, and the clove sprouts too much green growth before winter, which weakens it once the cold really sets in. Do this. Check the actual soil with your hand or a simple thermometer before you plant. Skip this. Don't just circle a date on the calendar and plant, no matter what the ground feels like. The third check was planting depth, and this one trips up more people than almost anything else. Too shallow, and the clove can heave right out of the ground when the soil freezes and thaws through winter. Too deep, and the sprout burns through its stored energy, just trying to reach daylight, leaving less left over to grow a proper bulb. My granddad's rule was simple. Plant it about as deep as your finger is long, tip pointing straight up. That depth keeps the clove insulated through the cold months, but not buried so deep it exhausts itself, pushing up to the surface. Do this. Measure with your own finger. If you don't have a tool handy, tip up every time. Skip this. Don't just scratch a shallow line in the dirt and drop cloves in loose. Now here's a little transition before we move into the back half of this list, because the next few checks are just as important as the first three. Maybe more, since they're the ones that separate an all right harvest from a great one. Fourth check was spacing, and this is where a lot of gardens get overcrowded without anybody noticing until it's too late. Garlic bulbs need room to actually swell underground. Crowd them too close, and every plant ends up competing for the same patch of soil, same water, same nutrients, and you end up with a whole row of small bulbs instead of a few big ones. My granddad always left about 6 inches between cloves, sometimes a little more if the soil was thinner. Think of it like seats at a table. Squeeze in too many chairs, and nobody's got enough elbow room to eat a proper meal. Do this. Space your cloves a solid 6 inches apart in rows about a foot apart. Skip this. Don't jam cloves in close together just to fit more into one bed. The fifth check was mulch, and specifically, mulch timing. A lot of folks either skip mulch entirely or they pile it on too early, before the ground has even had its first hard freeze. Mulch too soon, and you trap warmth in the soil that the garlic doesn't need yet, which can slow it down settling in for winter. My granddad always waited until after the first real hard frost before laying down a thick layer of straw, usually 4 to 6 inches deep. That timing lets the soil cool properly first, and then the mulch locks in that cold and protects the cloves from the worst swings of winter weather. Do this. Wait for that first hard frost, then mulch heavy with straw. Skip this. Don't mulch early just because the calendar says it's getting cold. The sixth check was watering, right after planting and then again in early spring. Right after you plant, garlic needs a good deep watering, enough to settle the soil around the clove and get roots starting to reach down. But once winter sets in, garlic mostly wants to be left alone. It's spring, when the green shoots start pushing up, that watering matters again, especially if your spring turns dry. My granddad always said garlic needs a good drink twice, once going in and once waking up, and not a whole lot in between. Do this. Water thoroughly right after planting, then again as spring growth starts if rain is light. Skip this. Don't keep the soil soaked all winter long. That just invites rot. The seventh and last check was knowing when a bulb is truly ready to break apart for planting, not just pulled fresh from the ground. A bulb that's been properly cured, dried out slowly in a shaded, airy spot for a couple weeks, will have a papery wrapper that peels back easy and cloves that separate clean with a little pressure from your thumb. If the wrapper's still damp or the cloves fight you when you try to separate them, that bulb isn't ready, and planting it green like that invites rot before it even gets going. My granddad would hold a bulb up to his ear sometimes and give it a little shake, and if he heard the cloves rattle loose inside the skin, he knew it was ready. Do this. Only plant bulbs that are fully cured and separate easily by hand. Skip this. Don't plant a bulb straight from a damp harvest bin without curing it first. Now here's the part that gets me, every single time I think about it. It seems to me like this kind of knowledge didn't disappear because it stopped mattering. It disappeared because farming got big and fast and convenient. Grocery stores made garlic something you just grab off a shelf, no thought given to how it got there or what it took to grow it right. Nobody sat down and wrote out the 7 things their granddad checked, because back then, everybody just knew it. It got passed hand to hand, season to season, and when that chain breaks even once, a whole family's worth of know-how can go quiet in a single generation. That's not anybody's fault. It's just what happens when we stop needing to remember things for ourselves. So let's bring it all back together, quick and simple. Pick your biggest, firmest cloves and leave the small ones for cooking. Check the soil with your own hand, not just the calendar, and wait for it to cool. Plant about a finger's length deep, tip pointing up. Give each clove roughly 6 inches of breathing room. Hold off on mulch until after that first hard frost, then lay it on thick. Water well right after planting, and again in spring if it's dry. And only plant bulbs that are fully cured, wrapper peeling easy, cloves rattling loose. 7 checks, and every one of them is the difference between a fistful of marbles and a real harvest come summer. Here's something you can do this week, even if your ground isn't quite ready yet. Go pull out whatever garlic you've got on hand, whether it's from the store or last year's harvest, and just practice separating the cloves by hand. Get a feel for what cured and ready actually feels like under your thumb, so when planting day comes, you're not guessing. And I'd love to know, down in the comments, what variety your family always planted, if you know the name. Some of these old regional varieties have names that never made it past a few counties, and I'd bet there's some real history sitting in those comments. Picture this. Next July, you're pulling up bulbs the size of your fist, and you're handing one to whoever in your family always said they didn't have the patience for gardening. That right there is worth doing this the proper way. Next week, we're getting into curing that garlic once it's grown. The exact signs to look for so it stores clean through the whole winter without going soft or sprouting early. That one pairs right alongside this, so if you're planting garlic this fall, you'll want it. Thanks for sitting with me a while. I'll see you in the garden.